Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another My Collection series video. Today, to celebrate the release of Deadpool and Wolverine, we're going to be putting together on camera my Hot Toys and third-party Deadpool collection. This is by no means going to be the final look for this collection because as Hot Toys release figures from the third Deadpool movie, I will eventually add them to the display. Let's start off with Deadpool from the first film. This figure was outstanding when it released. Seriously, I was in love with this figure. Unfortunately, by today's standards, the proportions are a bit funky, he doesn't come with as many accessories as the second version, and the outfit is deteriorating. There was a first batch issue where the sleeves would rub up against the bottom of the gloves and they would get completely destroyed. Also, the black parts of the outfit are notorious for flaking and fading. The knee pads like to peel off as well, so yes, this figure does have many issues. But he's got real metal swords, which is dope, and he comes with the essentials, such as his handguns, as well as the baby knife. So all of the good stuff is still present. If you're after a relatively basic, classic-looking version of Deadpool, I reckon you could do a hell of a lot worse than this. Yes, the second one is the superior of the two and my absolute favorite Deadpool figure right now, but we'll have to wait and see if that changes when the Deadpool and Wolverine version comes out relatively soon. Adding him to the collection right now, it looks quite bare bones, I know, but don't worry, we are going to add to this. You see, this is why I love the collection series videos. I get to take a look at figures on the channel that I've not even reviewed previously. This Ajax figure has been in my collection for the longest time. It's a third-party release. Just like the first Deadpool figure, he's not perfect. The proportions are a little funky, and he's very light on when it comes to accessories. The biggest complaint I have has nothing to do with the head sculpt or the likeness or the paint applications. It's the neck. It's far too long. In most poses, it makes him look giraffe-necked. You can adjust the head sculpt up and down, but not nearly enough to fix the issue entirely. The outfit is made of all fabric, so you can go crazy with the posing. And you can adjust everything. If you want to move the sleeves down to cover up the wrist pegs, totally doable. These axes, by the way, are not made of die cast, they're just silver paint on top of plastic. The vest has a zipper around the front, you can take that off, but I've always just kept it on. He came like this, and he's going to stay like this. Not many people actually have this guy, and I've never understood that because, like I already said, this is a great figure, and he's pretty much the main villain of the first Deadpool movie, the film that kicked off this franchise. Adding him to the display just behind Deadpool, you can see sort of what I'm doing. Deadpool 1 figures on the left. I only have 2 of them, unfortunately. I'm still hoping for a Negasonic from the first Deadpool movie. Next up, an absolute beast of a figure. It's Juggernaut from Deadpool 2. This guy is like the anchor, the centerpiece in my Deadpool display because no matter how you pose everything else, your eyes are going to go straight for this thing because of the sheer size of him. You can't tell how big he is just rotating around in front of us. When we pop him next to the other figures and we start to build out the display on camera, oh, you will see the true size of this monster. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out the review for this because it takes guts being a third-party company to try and manufacture something in 1/6 scale that ends up being as large as this guy is. I'm 99% sure, if I'm remembering correctly, that this guy is bigger than the Hulk. Now, if you don't like the visible joints for his elbows, he comes with some swap-out Velcro sleeves. You can remove the tattered pieces and install the full sleeves instead. Then he will be completely seamless from head to toe. Speaking of toes, his ankle joints are a bit loose, which does make him hard to keep standing. He has toppled over more than a few times in the display. So this is what we have right now, Deadpool 1. Adding Juggernaut into the mix. Yeah. So, like I was saying, A very big figure. He's all the way in the background. He still dwarfs the other two. Ooh, Colossus. This is another third-party release. Shame on you, Hot Toys, for not making this guy. I'm still kicking myself to this day for not getting the first one. This is Colossus specifically from Deadpool 2. Yes, he came with more accessories like the switch-out head sculpt. Still, I'm a completionist, and not seeing a Colossus in the Deadpool 1 display doesn't sit right with me, so I am on the hunt for one. Maybe eventually I'll find one and add him to the mix. I always rock him with the angry head sculpt on. I think it works best with a pose like this with him, cracking his knuckles. But he does come with a neutral expression sculpt as well. The outfit does have some pleather and rubbery stuff going on, and a real metal belt buckle. I don't think you have to worry about this stuff creasing or getting damaged. I've had mine in a dynamic pose ever since I got him, and so far so good, except for the loose ankles. I'm using the flight pole with the waist clamp to grab his upper thigh, the one that came with Deadpool, and that keeps him standing in the collection. I do wish he came with his own display base, because I'm pretty sure Toys Era knew that the body wouldn't be sturdy forever. He's not as tall as Juggernaut, but they make a solid pairing. Having these two facing off against each other in the background, perhaps? Yeah, I don't mind if I do. Haha, yes, Dusty Deadpool. This was the one figure people used to accuse me of just loving everything by default that Hot Toys made. This was the one that I could point to and say, no, go ahead and check out this review. This figure I loathe. It's awful. At least it was, in my opinion, back then. Now, I've come around. I don't know why. I guess I've just forgotten the things that I don't like about it. But the one complaint that still sticks with me is there's no duct tape anywhere. The duct tape is supposed to be present. They gave you some stickers to install yourself, and I didn't bother with that. But the Dusty effect is dope. He genuinely looks dirty and grimy. You can still see that the suit is red underneath the grey paint. It's just covered in soot, and it feels like it's kind of gritty as well. If you're looking for a different look for Deadpool, he still comes with the metal katanas. This might just be it for you. He's going to stand out because he looks so drastically different compared to the other two releases. And he comes with Cable's time travel device. So if you don't have Cable, but you want that accessory, you can just grab yourself a Dusty Deadpool. I usually have him in the background, just tucked away so you can't see him. Or I used to, I should say. But now that I am liking him a lot more than I did back then, he's going to be displayed more prominently. This figure is another one that Hot Toys should have made. It's Negasonic Teenage Warhead from Deadpool 2. I prefer the look from the first movie, but there's no denying that this figure has a lot of sass and a lot of presence. With a head tilt and the hand with the rude finger on it, yeah, I don't think it gets much better than this for Negasonic Teenage Warhead. The outfit is full fabric, so you can go crazy with the posing, and she comes with blast effects, or I should say energy effects that you can pop on her shoulders, to make it look like she's about to wreck shop, potentially even on Wade. Then you can pair her up with Dusty Deadpool. Maybe that's the aftermath of a little sparring match with Negasonic Teenage Warhead. You do have to contend with this gap under the sculpt, but from most angles, it's, not really visible, not a problem for me. I'm going to put her next to Dusty Deadpool. Like I said, in my head canon, that's why he's Dusty, because he's not accurate to Deadpool 2. I had to think of another reason for him to look that way. Cable was a figure that I didn't love at first. I didn't hate him, like Dusty Deadpool, but the head sculpt I didn't think was as good as the Toys Era one, and seeing as though we already had that release, and he'd been out for quite some time before we got this, yeah, Hot Toys had some pretty stiff competition for Cable. It's been ages, I've had time to digest this figure, and he is the superior of the two Cables. The head sculpt, I reckon, looks like Josh Brolin from pretty much every angle, and I dig the open mouth look. The mechanical arm is chock full of detail, and it's sort of extending up underneath his shirt, you can remove everything on the upper torso if you want to expose that mechanical virus-affected area. The time travel device is different as compared to the one that came with Dusty Deadpool, and his BFG is magnetic, just pops on his back. The cloak is wired, you can adjust it, but the one big complaint that most people had, including me, was the visible joint for his right arm. If only they'd have gone seamless. Maybe they can do a 2.0 eventually. I'm going to put Cable in the middle. Still closer to the Deadpool 2 figures on the right side of the screen, though. I feel he is a bit more at home with those figures as compared to if I had him placed next to Deadpool 1 releases. Okay, so at the time of filming this video, I don't have the Deadpool 3 figure yet, so this is my current favorite Deadpool in the collection. The best proportions, great articulation, killer accessories including the trainee shirt and the high-heeled shoes and the unicorn plushie, metal swords, you get the 50 cal pistols, and you get the baby knife. Plus, multiple sets of interchangeable eyes that you can mix and match if you want to. You can have him looking like he's winking, breaking the fourth wall in the display. The changes between Deadpool 1 and 2 are subtle. This is, in my opinion, just a more refined version of the initial movie costume. Still that baby knife in the holster. There's some silver bands on his gloves, that's new for Deadpool 2, but the way the swords and the sheath attach to the back, the exact same as the first release, and yes, he still has die-cast katanas. Just, if you're planning on picking this guy up, or you already have him, but you haven't posed him that much and you're thinking about doing it, maybe don't. This outfit feels quite fragile. It's made of this rubbery textured stuff, and the black parts are very close to pleather. Let's call them pleather adjacent. In terms of this display, I'm going to put him next to Cable, close-ish to the Deadpool 1 figures, so he's bridging that gap between the two films. The only thing that I still have to pick up to complete the 1 and 2 set of figures is that Toys Era Colossus. So I'm on the hunt for one. I've already said that, I know, but if you know where to find one, just let me know down in the comments, or you can hit me up on Insta. I love this mini collection of Deadpool figures. I think I'm going to have to lay them out like this full-time in the Modu cases. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.